Oh, look at that. What a read. Hello, hello. What's up, what's up? Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Oh, gonna need a lot more coffee today. I have no idea why we're pumping. No idea at all. No idea why this is going the way it is. But if we're pumping today, I think we dump tomorrow. I'd be very cautious of the 672 area. I'll wait till other people join and I'll go over it again. In the meantime, enjoy the music. Welcome, welcome. We'll give it a couple more minutes and then I'll go through some charts and updates. Yeah, I like this music GPT thing. It's really good. This jazz playlist is pretty nice. It's a nice morning endeavor. Give me a sec. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Hello, hello. Started a bit early, but I'll give it another minute or two before I kick things off. This worries the fuck out of me. I don't know if it does to anyone else. This is suspicious. I thought we were gonna get this move much later than what we got right now. I gotta update my chart here. It should reject right here, come back down, sweep this area, go back up, stoop that again, and then go up. That's the path here. I don't know why I decided to do what it's doing right now. Anyways. Okay, seems like we got enough people here. Let's kick things off, and I'll turn the music to whisper here. I don't know where this pump came from. I mean, I was suspicious of it, but we did swing some 671 calls for today. Let's open up Discord while we're here so we can see the comments. Move left, open that up. It was good risk and rewards. I do think it was something that was well timed, so nicely done, Timmy. I think we got them from like, I don't know, they're like $50 or something like that. We already trimmed a couple yesterday at 79 and 80, and then today they're in the money, so they should be at $100 or something. Buy open, 190 maybe if we can get it, but it is what it is. I do think puts are the better risk and reward here, just for everyone's sanity. Like, we've not cleared the 672 area a couple times, like once, twice, 3 times. Maybe this is the 4th. That's what kicked off the sell on Thursday last week, so it is what it is. But I did draw this nice inverse head and shoulder this morning. So you got your inverse shoulder, inverse head, inverse right shoulder, and then go up from there. That is effectively what we got, but I'd only be interested in getting calls if we close on the 5 minute above 672. Otherwise, I do think the puts are the better risk and reward here, because this has been an area that has been rejected from multiple times. Now, George seems to think that this is a buy the dip situation. So he's saying buy dips, your pin magnet is at 670. We're above it, so I do think it's going to come back down and test that area once more before going up. And coincidentally, not only is that a level of interest where gamma is exposed, but it's also the previous quarter mid point there. So it does have a lot of confluence here for another sweep and undercut and then go up. So I'd be interested in getting puts right at open around this area, come back down, and then get calls towards the 674 area. And that's what I wrote in my admin summary as well. I want to see a 674 test today because we held that 660 put. Well, QQQ want to see 607 today. We're almost there, honestly. I'm shocked how good this read was. And IWM looks weak. I think we went over this yesterday. It does not look ideal. So I do think it's going to bounce and then roll over. But I do think it's going to pump afterward. So come back down towards this area and go up. And I think that's exactly what I drew. So you're going towards 250 yesterday, which we never really got. Oh, we got there and then rejected. Came back down and then kind of go back up towards the upside. So exactly as I drew here, VIX also imploded, which we kind of knew about. And the reason why VIX imploded, just so people know, is that Iran is making deals individually with different tankers, with different countries to let them pass through the Strait of Hormuz. And if you have that kind of clarity in the market, then you know that structurally speaking, there is a deal on the table, whether that's individual countries or individual tankers. You're going to short oil and long the other markets. And one other layer of confluence there is I was looking at TNX, which is your 10-year bond, coming back down. Great. And Dixie, if I look at the dollar index, it should come back down, which means money is going towards semis, is going towards technology, is going towards other places rather than being hoarded towards like a fixed interest bond or a coupon, whatever that might be. And this is really good for us as traders because now we can take calls and it's setting up a nice base here. So I do think eventually, I don't know when, but eventually this will act as a nice baseline. If I look at the daily on the Dixie here, this is what I drew months ago at this point in time, or weeks ago at this point in time. And I was hoping to see an up move on the dollar towards the 116 area pretty soon. Whether we get that or not will remain to be seen, but this is a almost 20-year channel that I drew. So this is how far back it goes from 2008 all the way till now. It's been respected over and over again. So this is also what I'd use. It's also built into the George algorithm. So it is something that he picks up on. But I want to show everyone why this is important because a weak dollar means money is going outside of the dollar and the bonds towards technology, towards semis, and towards other things that are on the rotation page. So just wanted to give everyone the context there, why we're seeing US oil drop, why we're seeing VIX drop, and where we might end up in the next couple of weeks. So structurally, this is what I drew as well. If you look at the chart here on US oil, I think I drew this some time back. This is that liquidity sweep, right? So you got your head and shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. It probably comes back down towards a 103 area. I don't know if that happens this week necessarily or if it takes another couple of weeks. But I'm personally short oil. I don't know if that works for this week, but I might roll them out for the end of March or maybe in April or something like that. So that's the reason why. And if you look at the crude oil futures, so I look at CL here, ever since this is your line of resistance now, right? So if I draw a simple line here, it has not been able to clear that since we got the war news, and we've been testing that over and over again and not being able to close above it on the 15 minutes. So I do think you're going to come back down, grab liquidity here before deciding to either go up or continue going down. So that's what I'm seeing in the market on SPY, QQQ, IWM. TSM looks pretty good. I do think it's going to go towards 350, maybe 360 by the end of the week. Pound here, same story. I think it's going to go towards the higher end here, around 160, 156 maybe is kind of the draw that I got. And it's setting up a nice, if I look at it on the 4 hour, because that's where it's the clearest for me. That's setting up a nice base here to consolidate out of. So this is really what I'm watching for, just a break of this trend line here. And above this, you fly towards 164, possibly even higher, but I don't know if that happens this week or it takes another week. But it's been a nice accumulation by the market makers in this range here. So I do think it's inevitable that it goes back out towards the upside. And the reason I'm more leaning towards the upside is because of this cup and handle pattern that we're seeing and going towards higher highs and higher lows. So those are things I'm watching right now. TSM, Palantir, crude oil we went over, US oil we went over, SPY, IWM, and QQQ we went over. All things considering, I do think puts are the better risk and reward here unless we close above 272 on the 5 minute. And I don't know what we're going to get at open, so I'm be very cautious and just wait for the undercut before I decide to make a move. Only interested in the reversals, but it is what it is, and we'll see where we end up. So Nice read, I think, from both myself and George. I'm not trying to applaud myself. I'm just saying I think we called it right. And Timmy called a nice 671 swing from yesterday, which is in the money. And I'll be taking some of these calls from George. Yes, they're expensive, but it is what it is. I'll take them on my main account, and then we'll see where they end up, including JD. I just want to see how bagged I get from that one particular ticker. But it is what it is, and we'll see where that goes and how bagged I get. And yeah, 675 could be a good rejection spot. I agree. I don't know if we get there today. I do think 674 is really what I'm looking for. And the reason for the 674 sweep is it's been an area that we've been rejecting from for, I don't know, a couple of weeks at this point in time. And it coincidentally, right above it is your previous month low. So I do think it's going to test here. I just don't know if we get something like this where it comes back down, tests 670, and then goes back up, or if we just continue pumping towards 674 area, 675 area. So that's what I'm watching for. QQQ, we went over this already, but this is looking like a nice cup and handle forming here. Structurally, it's a bit weaker and there's a low volume here comparatively, but it is what it is, and we'll play as we see it. If anyone swung calls with me for 680 on Friday, and I believe 684 on Friday as well, I'll be looking to exit those. I think I already exited the 680s. I just have the 684 calls for Friday, I think it is. And I'll probably exit these. I just have one left. I'll probably exit them today. And we'll see where we end up. Go to my SPY account, and we'll see where it is, what it is. Tomorrow's the FOMC minute, or whatever the meeting is. It's going to be a hawkish tone, so I don't expect us to pump tomorrow. I do think it's going to accumulate and chop, so I'm not going to set out tomorrow and not do anything. But I'm interested in getting some puts for the reversal before the 2 p.m. meeting that it is tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes, but do not play FOMC. We made this mistake last time and the time before that and every other time before that. Whenever FOMC happens, we just end up losing a lot of money because that's tricky reads. US oil isn't ripping. I don't think it is. Like, yeah, we gapped up, but I think that was to grab liquidity and stop anyone who went short on the market around here, right? So this is my conspiracy theory, if you want to call it that. If I'm taking a short around this candle, where's my stop loss? That's right there. So it is what it is, but that's the reason I think we pumped up there. So I do expect oil to continue going down. I just might take some time. And who is messaging me? No, but better RR. Unless we see a nice close with volume above 672.
So, by the way, American. I was just going to say American Airlines. What a beauty!
Oh yeah, if anyone got those 11 calls for end of the week, they're in the money, I believe, or almost in the money. We took them at what did we take them at? They were like $16 or something.
$16, $17, $15.
$15, yeah, there you go. AL 11Cs. Let's see where those end up, but I'll probably exit those. On MU, that's a good question. I don't know if I'll buy it at open. I might just give it until the end of the day. So this is what happened yesterday. I was kind of observing this, and I kind of missed it by accident. Well, not by accident. I just got busy. So you see how market makers like pumped it in the morning. We got a nice breakout, like almost bull trap, and then they dumped the market, right? So this came in from market makers. This was not This is not retail. And then after market close, what happened? It just pumped, right? So I do think something like that is, because they have earnings tonight, I do think something like that is on the cards, and I wouldn't be buying calls right at the top here, right? We've rejected from that zone multiple times. So I'd be interested in seeing a move down, maybe consolidate towards 441 before I get some calls for the end of the week around the 460 area, which is coincidentally where your call wall is. So I'll wait, and I'll see where that ends up. The contracts are expensive, so I'd rather just get them at a discount rather than overpaying for it by, I don't know, $500 or whatever it is. So that is my rationale for waiting on MU. And SNDK, we kind of literally saw the same story happen. And again, I was watching this, had an alert set up here, but I got busy at the end of the day because our lottos, the lady just dumped everything on the market, grabbed the liquidity, and then what happened? You started pumping towards, now you're clearing this resistance zone, or the buy side liquidity, as I call it. So it is what it is, but these are market maker games, and I don't want to play them until the end of the day. So that's where my mind goes. I did swing some Palantir calls for the end of the week. I was able to trim out of a couple of them. I still have half the position left, which is only 2 contracts, so we'll see where that ends up. And same thing with TSM. I took some 360 calls for the end of the week. They're probably a bit early, but it is what it is. I do think it's going to fly up towards that 350 area, which is really where I'd be looking to take profit. And if we clear at 350, you're going towards 257. Clear that, you're going towards 370. I don't know if that happens by the end of the week, but it is what it is. NVDA, let's do a recap. We saw this giant pump yesterday, right? And I was able to exit some of these calls that I swung, or not swung, but these zero-dated options. Got them at about 125. Sold about 920, which is insane. I wasn't expecting this kind of pump, but I had limit sells in place, right? So I sold one at 160, sold one at 200, sold one at 300, and then one free runner, which ended up going to $920, and I was able to get out of that right before it started dumping. So that's the reason we saw that pump on SPX and SPY, because of the NVIDIA earning report for next year, where they were projecting $1 trillion. But, you know, I don't know if I got lucky on that or whatever it was, but all I was doing there, just so people know, I was watching the SPX gamma page, and I was looking at the dealer chart here, and for some reason 69.25 was lit up, so I got those calls when that came in, and they ended up becoming really profitable. And as soon as like we ended up pumping towards that node just shrunk. So like, all right, I at least had a nice exit there. But that's the reason why I did it. I might stay out of SPX until 3 p.m. because nothing really happens on SPX until 3 p.m. or after the opening move. So I'd rather just preserve my capital and wait till the end of the day as much as possible. So it is what it is, and news will shake things. But I'll be very patient today instead of rushing into a play. Yesterday I rushed into these puts, and then Trump said war might end soon. These were profitable for a little bit. Then they got cooked, and then they came back, oddly enough. And I wasn't able to exit them. I ended up taking a loss on those. I lost like $480 or something like that, but whatever. It's part of the process. Rejecting on NVIDIA here. I think it comes back down. Same thing with SPY, same thing with QQQ. And then I'd be interested in getting calls on the reversal at the 670 sweep. So that's really where my mind is, unless we see some volume above this or a closure above this on the 5 minute. Let's go look at that. I wouldn't be rushing into calls just yet because I think puts are the better risk and reward. Hopefully people see it the same way. Cool. IWM, I don't know where it goes down to, honestly. I think it's going to go down towards... Just open up the chart. And I don't want to rush into anything, but I do think it comes back and fills this imbalance here around 248. And American Airlines, if you took that play, it's in the money. I just sold most of mine on my phone. And we got them at $15. They're now 31, so you got a nice 100% move there. Look at that. Maybe it's going to go up. I don't know. I'll leave one just for kicks. And let's see this rejection. And I don't think we have volume, honestly, so I don't think anything's going to happen. And I'll put this on pause. This is your undercut and rip. I want to get some puts because they're better to risk and reward. Okay, let's see what George is saying now. 670 is your wall here. I don't know if we break through that or not. I'm going to take some 670, 668 puts, 667. I want to get two of these. At 45. If I can fill it. I do have some calls for Monday, or sorry, for Friday, which might be profitable. Who knows? And again, I'm just going through my thesis that puts are better risk and reward. If we see volume pick up, or we see a nice closure above this, which I don't think we're going to get for some time, because you have that node at 670. We'll see where that ends up. Okay, 667 puts at $50 got filled, or sorry, 45 or whatever I got them at got filled. You're up about 1%, or we're up about 1%, but we'll see where this goes. And I'll be looking to sell both of these. I think honestly at 90, I think it'll fill, but who knows? Uh-oh, volume's picking up. Oopsie. Oh no, it's not actually 3 mil. That's nothing. All right, let's see what happens here. If you want to cut these calls while they're down 1% or 3%, whatever puts are, you might as well, and get some calls. But I'm going to hold them. I do think it's the better risk and reward. So let them do the undercut, and we'll go from there. Oh my God, it's going to pump, isn't it? Shit. I don't want to chase it here. 675 is your rejection zone as well, and 676 is your rejection zone. So we'll see. I'm just going to wait for the 5-minute candle, and I'll decide if I want to cut the puts or not.
By the way, folks, in case you ended up swinging some spine calls with us yesterday, I know there are a few of you that did. Feel free to trim them at 674. I see Fighter. Yes, Fighter just trimmed some as well. Yeah, we got a nice solid return on those.
Nicely done on American Airlines and the 671 swing from yesterday. Those 671 swings are in the money, and you were able to get a nice 100% plus on that.
Swinging is back.
Yes, sir. Okay, we do have more bearish sentiment here across the board. And this is your projected path down. Let's see what Gamma's looking like. Downside is shrinking so far, but you're in between two big levels here. I don't think institutions are doing anything. These are from yesterday, so. Oh, that's from this morning. NVDA, someone bought a lot of shares. Okay, we'll give it one more minute, and then I'll decide if I want to cut the puts and get calls instead, or do I hold them? This screams to me like it's a bull trap, but we'll see where we end up. And hey, 684 calls are almost green. Okay, I'll give it another few minutes on those before I decide what to do. I'm not going to close these just yet, or take the L on those just yet. I'm going to give it, okay, we got our first 5-minute print. We close above. All right. Actually, hold on, it's rejecting. I know you want to come back down towards 670. Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? That's like right above. It's right above where I wanted to reject. Oh, these calls are green. No, they're not. Okay. Does it have legs? Does it have volume? No, volume died up as well. I know it wants to come back down. I just don't know what they're doing here. They might be trapping bulls or squeezing bears, one of the two. There's your rejection on NVIDIA. That's what I thought. Let's see what the Qs are doing. I already have them up there. Qs are starting to reject, but almost at the 6 or 7 area that I marked out. I do think it's lower before higher, but I'll give it some time. If anyone got Coinbase calls for the end of the week, which I think George was also saying, same thing with master calls. They're nice and green.
You know, there's one crypto name I'm surprised that isn't as green, which is Bitminer.
Yeah.
That one tracks for Ethereum.
I think they just filled that gap or imbalance up here. Let me just check on the 15 minutes. This is the one that I was looking at. Yeah, it's filled. All right. If it doesn't reject here and comes back down, I will get some calls. Dun, 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 dun. Rejecting so far, which is what I thought. There's no volume again. 4 mil compared to 85 mil on average. That's insane. I don't think George has opened anything, right? No, because there's no volume. Dun, 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 dun. Chat is bullish, so I think it rejects. The morning MOC was only 300 mil. It's nothing.
You know,
I think if I remember right, we had these same volume issues last time there was FOMC. Like nobody's willing to do anything big before Wednesday. Especially if they're going to hold rates. Like there's just no change. It's like everyone's tentative, right? Because it could go one way or the other.
Okay. It really wants to come down. I don't know why they're not letting it. It wants to come back down and fill maybe an imbalance below, like one of these. And decide if it wants to go back up. This is what I drew earlier. I was expecting a rejection here, but we ended up going above. Okay, I'll go down to the 15 minutes and we'll see what happens. And I'll just mark this off as an area of interest. If we get above overbought buy calls. Let's go look at Apple and Meta while we're at it. It's looking good, but I'd only be interested in calls if we clear 255. Otherwise, I don't see us closing above that and coming back down towards 245.
QQQ actually has some pretty decent volume right now.
Yeah, Meta's rejecting from that same spot that I was worried about. QQQ volume, decent. It's not ideal, but it's decent. And we'll give it some time.
I also think some other people are holding off because of NVDA GTC. I think there could be some random mentions. Like part of the reason yesterday we jumped up so much was that Jensen Huang said we expect to see about $1 trillion in revenue in 2027.
Yeah, and then the whole market pumped on that and then got faded within 5 minutes.
Exactly. I think your call went in the money on SPX, actually.
I did go in the money briefly. I was able to sell it at like $900.
Not revenue, excuse me. Oh. He says it's not revenue. People misinterpret it.
Oh, what did he say?
Even CapEx in a very bad way.
I'll look at this AR afterwards.
Yeah, the algorithmic news did run with it.
Okay, we're going to find out in 4 minutes if we should cut these puts and get calls. I might actually just take the L on those and add to the 684 calls for Friday instead because they're cheaper. I want to leave these just in case. We're up 10% on those. Do you want to buy it here? No. I don't want to chase it. I will sell it though. What? What do you mean I own 0 contracts? Oh, because I have a sell already in place. I see. Okay, let's see where we're going to get. I'll go back to gamma. Range bound. You're in positive gamma, though. Really tight ranges here. Still bearish. And the downside increase a little bit. Not by much, but a little bit. And upside decrease by a little bit, too. Okay. Yeah, it might just be FOMC. I don't know. Everything just looks stalled. Okay, this is that rejection zone that I was saying on IWM. Let's see if we clear that or not. This is your double top. QQQ, it's not the same story. It's like it still has more room to go, whether up or down, we'll see. And SPY, you're already above where you should have rejected from, so I also don't want to chase calls just yet.
It seems that energy is having slight inflow today on XLE.
Let's go see. Oh yeah, look at that.
The two so far have been moving in tandem with each other. Market goes down, XLE volume increases. Market goes up, XLE volume decreases.
Yeah.
Significant day.
I think Oklo also has earnings either sometime this week. I can't remember when.
Oh, and Easy is looking at Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab's, man, soaring.
Rocket Lab is rocketing. Oh man, look at that.
I wonder what our friend ASTS is doing then.
I have a lot of comments on both, so I'm just gonna wait and see what happens there. Ooh, it's going up. Nice. I'd be worried about the previous week high here, rejecting from that, but we'll see. Okay, I might add to these puts. I do think it's the right, what's it called? Just slightly early. So this is your rejection pattern. That's what happens when a market maker is setting up a position. You get this compression candle, right? Like it feels like nothing happened and price stalled. And you get like an insane impulse in the next like 5-10 minute candle towards the downside. So I might add one more here, but I want to wait and just watch this next 5-minute candle close. Okay, I'm going to hold these, but I do think we should get some calls on the today's the 17th, 676, maybe 677. I'm going to hold those, get 2 of these. I'm trying to fill them at 40 because I don't want to overpay for it. And then I'm just going to take the win at like 10, 20, 30%, whatever the number is. Might not be a lot of volume today, so I'm just going to take the win as I get it. I'll put that in the paid chat. Yeah, we'll snipe some Oklo calls for weeklies. Holding 668. Was it 668 or 667? 667, I think. 667. So B till EOD. We'll scale out of 677 calls for 10 to 20% and call it a day.
Between the SPY calls, and I know Robin had some as well, and American, I think we're sitting pretty on the day so far.
Yeah, I'm still green, and only because of the 671 calls and the American airline ones. Also because of the 684 calls that I got for the end of the week that are nice and green.
Anybody in Microsoft weeklies, it just cracked 403, so it's getting a nice push up, dude. You should be well into profit on those for sure, especially anyone who grabbed the 400s.
Yeah, I think I have the 410s, but I'll wait. I think those are gonna go green eventually. Okay. Just no volume, that's the thing. Okay. The call premiums have just completely dropped. What the fuck? Those Palantir calls live. Hold on. Let me just sell those while I'm here. They only got 2 left anyways. Nice 40% on those. Sell both. And we'll call it a day on these. Get some cash back. And PLD. Let me sell these as well while I'm here. PLD. I think I only have 1 left. Sell this at 80 maybe. If it fills. And go back to SPY. I don't want any FOMC risks. I'll sell the 684 calls right now for a nice 10% gain. Modify, sell this at, actually maybe $1 will fill. We'll do that there. And one other thing I gotta do. SPY. Yeah, if anyone took those path calls, they're doing really well. And I'll probably sell these as well. 677. Sell them for a nice. Let's try to get them at 50 if we can. And I'll hold 667 puts. I might roll them to tomorrow, to be honest. But I'll wait to see what happens here. If we close above 674, I would roll them. If we don't, then I'll just hold them for the day and see where we end up. Sold all of those. Sold all of those. Sold the Palantir calls. The only ones I got left are TSM weeklies. These are down by 40%, but I want to give it till Friday. These are more of lottos anyways. And the reason I got them in the first place was because the chart looked good. So this is what I'm seeing on the chart. Oh, we went over this already, but this is a nice accumulation, right? So we've seen a lot of accumulation happen since last week. I do think you're setting up a breakout pattern here. Then we have a lot more imbalances above than we do below. So this is a nice space. I do think you're going to tag 357, maybe even 370 by the end of the week. So we'll wait on those. And 684 calls have sold. Nice. And no volume. I don't think SPX is faring any better. Just more chop.
IWM and QQQ are still having a good amount of volume so far.
Oh, you close above 250. Nice. Do we get above the rejection area here? I don't know. This is something to watch.
It's interesting. We've been seeing more recently, at least today, at least past few weeks, more rotation to these very, should I say, areas with a little bit more diversification.
Like what?
IWM and QQQ. Because again, with how the market is a little bit oriented, like IWM's particular holdings, small cap regional banks and industrials, can be a little bit more attuned to volatility.
I know what you mean. What about the interest rate decision tomorrow, if there's any, right? What does that do to IWM?
If there is, they don't, as you said, they don't expect anything. But if there is going to be an interest rate variation, IWM is going to soar above the rest. Small caps are particularly the most outside of maybe banks, are going to be the most beneficial to rate decreases. If you own a small business, this will lower the cost to maintain or expand that business with lower credit.
I like it.
That's why if you ever have rate cuts, KRE goes wild because it's regional banks, and they, on the one hand, They do better with higher interest rates because they make more, but on the other hand, cost of doing business for them is already higher versus the bank. Any decrease in costs is bullish for them.
Makes sense. The thing that's shocking to me for this week, and has been the case since last Tuesday, I believe, is like the volume is just nothing. Usually it's like 5 bill, 10 bill, whatever. This is now $230 million a year. That's nothing.
Yeah, and also it's spring break as well, so a lot of the market makers may be at Disneyland with their families.
They don't have families, you know that.
Everyone is in Cancun. It depends. And that's what Mula said. It's spread.
Someone does not like Disney. Oh, the outlook calls aren't that expensive. I thought they were going to be way more expensive.
You can also grab some SMR calls as well.
Oh, interesting. I might get these 66 calls. Oh, I was going to check when the earnings is.
I think it's after today.
It's after hours tonight, Oklo.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'll wait till the end of the day. I want to get these 66 calls. Sorry, 65 calls. Let me see if we can get them at $200. Let's put the Benjamin summaries, stock low, 26 C weeklies, lotto sized, limit buy at 200 per con. Only get 2 and see where we end up. Okay, market looks stalled now. That's what I was worried about on Micron, so I wanted to wait on getting some calls, but I'm going to give it some time to settle down here. Maybe come back down towards 443, 41 ideally. I'll have some calls. I bet you're seeing the same thing on SNDK because market makers love to do this. I'm going to trap all the bears today and then bump it up afterwards.
Thursday has some good earnings. So I already know we're in Planet Lab. There's also, let's see, Lunar is going. Accenture, probably grab puts on that, ironically. Because who doesn't love consulting? And Scholastic. And Flying Arrows.
30C, 327, 30C. Oops. PL 327, 30C. Oh, those are green. What the hell? Ah, nice. Oops. 60%. Take the win if scared of folding. I'll hold 3 out of 3.
IWM is going.
Still, I want to see a clear above, what is this, 251.50? That's the rejection zone, 251.50, yeah. If it goes above, then I think you can safely get calls. I don't know what SPY is doing. It's looking like it's making up this pattern where it's just staircasing up or down.
It's going to fall IWM.
You're saying it's going to fall?
Follow, potentially.
Follow, yeah, maybe. It seems like it's ahead by a couple minutes.
What is our wonderful friend physics saying?
Well, we check. Bear reversal is forming. Yep, I feel ya. Bear reversal. Okay. IWM. Ooh, a lot of entropy. Bull reversal is forming at 245. 250 is your bear reversal. Yep, that's what I was saying. There's your rejection on the Qs. SPX should be saying the same thing. Should be rejecting. Bear reversal. Yep, critical. Active now. All right. I do think our data is a bit... Hold on, let me just reset the server. Go ahead.
I know, I was just going to say, we were also about 3 minutes from 10, so give us a push.
Meanwhile, go to localhost and see what is going on here. I think our server ran out of memory, and then it's now stuck in the empty state that I had before. Oh no, page not found. What? There's a rejection. Although IWM just cleared the zone where I thought I was going to reject. So I think calls are going to go and figure out what to do there. Meanwhile, I'll fix this issue on George. I don't know why it's saying market not open, which is clearly not the case. All right, I'm going to hold these puts for the rest of the day. Got a couple of calls, but I don't know if we get any volume today. And I'll post an update. Oh, he opened something. What? Oh my, what the fuck? 3. Okay, he's swinging. All right, I like it. I like it.
What the hell is Olma?
I don't even know what that is.
What?
Let me go look at the chart.
George makes like no trades all for like days, and then he comes out with Olema Pharmaceuticals.
Oh yeah, people wanted swings. I'm like, all right, give them swings to take. Let's see what the bid and ask is, or the spread is like. Closed position. What the fuck happened here? Oh, okay, the spreads are whacked. That's why he killed it. I see. I gotta add that in. Let me just write on my to-dos. Take the fucking spread here.
Yeah, he's looking at the 16p. The spread. There's a 0 bid and a 490 ask.
Yeah, it's. I'll figure that out. Yo, these contracts are insane. Who is selling them at $400? Actually, while I'm here, I want to add some of these to his no-fly zone.
Spreads like this are like Facebook Marketplace, man. People have pricing like just all over the world.
Yeah, I think he's right though. Directionally, like it does look like a sudden dump.
You could make that a George Common.
You could short it.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. All right, I need some time to fix this market not open bug, but apart from that, I'm just gonna hold these puts and see where we end up. Looks like there's no volume, so we might just like either grind or just be flat and pinned here at that 670 area-ish. On SPY, QQQ comes back down probably towards 604, 602 maybe, IWM rejecting. You're ahead by like 5 minutes here, so I think it comes back down towards 249 now. And we'll see where it ends up. Calls were green for a little bit. I'm going to roll them probably to tomorrow. And since we're not closing above 674, I don't see the point of rolling the puts right now. So I'll just hold them until we come back down towards this area. And then if they're profitable, they're profitable. If we get pinned, we get pinned. But I do think they're going to come back pretty quickly. So we'll go from there. All right. Chat soon, y'all.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.